Welcome to an inspiring story that will not only improve your English but also remind you of the power of belief, failure, and never giving up. Today, we explore the life of Thomas Edison, the boy who was once called addled but went on to light up the entire world. Thomas Alva Edison was born on February 11, 1847, in Milan, Ohio. He was the youngest of 7 children in a family that wasn't wealthy, but full of love and resilience. From a very young age, Thomas was different. He didn't speak much, and when he did, it was often to ask big questions adults didn't always have answers for. He wanted to know how things worked: clocks, windmills, birds, and even shadows. If something moved, ticked, or blinked, he needed to understand why. But in school, his curiosity wasn't celebrated. Instead, it was misunderstood. At the age of 7, his teacher called him addled, a word that meant mentally slow or confused. He was scolded for asking too many questions. His school thought he was a troublemaker, someone who wouldn't amount to much. One day, he came home with a sealed letter from the teacher. When his mother read it, her face changed. But she looked at Thomas and said, "You're too special for that school. I'll teach you myself." And she did. Nancy Edison became her son's greatest supporter and first teacher. She taught him reading, writing, and arithmetic, but more importantly, she taught him how to believe in himself. She filled their home with books, ideas, and encouragement. Thomas quickly devoured everything she gave him: science books, mechanics, chemistry guides. His hunger for knowledge had no limit. Soon, he turned the family basement into his first lab. He mixed chemicals, built small machines, and filled the air with strange smells and louder questions. His mother didn't stop him, she smiled and watched. She knew her son wasn't slow. He was simply thinking differently. Thomas didn't always get things right. In fact, he failed a lot. He once burned down the family barn while experimenting with fire. Another time, he gave a friend a homemade medicine that caused panic. His parents were often shocked, but they never gave up on him. Failure wasn't a stop sign for Thomas, it was just another lesson. He said later in life, "I never failed. I only found ways that didn't work." At the age of 12, he took a job selling newspapers and candy on a train that ran between cities. But Thomas didn't just sell, he observed, explored, and experimented. He convinced the train staff to let him use part of the baggage car as a mini laboratory. There, he continued his chemistry experiments and even started his own newspaper, the Grand Trunk Herald, which he printed on the train. But then came a life-changing accident. One day, while trying to hop off the moving train, a conductor grabbed him by the ears and pulled him back violently. This injured his hearing permanently. For the rest of his life, Thomas Edison was nearly deaf. Most people would feel defeated. But not Thomas. He once said, "My deafness has been a blessing. It keeps me from hearing useless conversations." He turned even his hearing loss into an advantage: more focus, fewer distractions. As a teenager and young adult, Thomas continued to invent. He was curious about electricity, sound, light, and communication. At 22, he filed his first patent, an electric vote recorder. But it failed. No one was interested. He was disappointed, but he didn't stop. He moved to New York, often sleeping in basements, borrowing food, and working odd jobs to survive. Then one day, opportunity knocked. A stock ticker machine broke in the office of a financial firm. Thomas fixed it, not just repaired it but improved it. The company was so impressed, they paid him $40,000 for the design, a fortune at the time. Suddenly, the boy who was once called addled had enough money to follow his dreams. Instead of spending it on comfort, he built his dream, a real laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey. This wasn't just a workshop, it was the first research lab in history, a place where people could invent together. Thomas called it his invention factory. He worked late into the night, surrounded by glass tubes, tools, wires, and a team of assistants who believed in his vision. He didn't care about fame, he cared about progress. He once said, "The three great essentials to achieve anything worthwhile are hard work, stick-to-itiveness, and common sense." In the late 1870s, cities were lit by gas lamps. They were dim, smoky, and dangerous. But Thomas Edison had a different vision, a safe, clean, and affordable electric light for every home. The challenge was massive. Many inventors had tried and failed. People laughed at Edison. "It's impossible," they said. "Electricity is too dangerous, too expensive." But Edison didn't listen. He and his team tested over 1,000 different materials for the bulb's filament. Bamboo, paper, hair, even beard trimmings. One by one, they failed. Reporters asked, "Don't you feel like a failure?" Edison smiled. "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work." Finally, in 1879, they found a carbonized bamboo filament that worked. It glowed for hours without burning out. The light bulb was no longer just an idea, it was real. That same year, Edison publicly demonstrated his invention. The crowd gasped as lamps lit up the night. People no longer feared the dark. They saw a new future, one powered by light. The light bulb was just the beginning. Edison created an entire electric power system to bring light to homes, businesses, and cities. He invented the phonograph, the first machine to record and play sound. He improved the motion picture camera, making it possible to capture moving images. He filed over 1,000 patents in his lifetime. But more than inventions, Edison gave people possibility. He showed that great ideas could come from anyone, even a boy who was once told he was too slow to succeed. His inventions changed how people lived, worked, and dreamed. Streets became safer. Nights became brighter. Music filled homes. Films told stories. And the world kept moving forward. Life lessons from Thomas Edison teaches us that 1. Your weakness might be your strength. Edison's hearing loss helped him focus deeply. 2. Failures are lessons in disguise. Every failed experiment brought him one step closer. 3. Believe in yourself, even when others don't. His mother's belief changed everything. 4. Success doesn't happen overnight. Edison said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." 5. Keep asking questions. Curiosity is the beginning of every great idea. Thomas Edison's life is proof that you don't have to be born a genius to become one. You don't need perfect grades or the approval of everyone around you. What matters is your hunger to learn, your courage to fail, and your belief that you can make a difference. So the next time someone tells you that you can't, smile and remember, Edison lit up the world because he refused to stay in the dark.